Hello and welcome back to another beer review. I'm Ben the Beer Lad, and today I'm going to be doing a Triple Point Brewing beer. This one is in collaboration with a couple of people actually. It's in collaboration with Bouillon Craft Chocolate and Cathology, Great Coffee, Great Cause, and there they are. This one is called Tinto and it's a Mocha Imperial Stout at 10.3%. And there it says, and then also in the big fancy words there, which I quite like of this can art. It's a vegan-friendly beer. It's also gluten-free. It says, because they did give less than 20 ppm, so apparently it's gluten-free. Yeah, I have had Triple Point before. The Mocha Cacao one that I couldn't pronounce, the Stout Porter. Quite enjoyed it. Very happy with it. And yeah, I've got a couple more in the fridge, so I thought I'd do this one. But I've never had a Bouillon, and I've never had a Cathology, or Cafeology, if you want to be smart ass about it. But yeah, never heard of either of them, but I'm looking forward to it. Guff on the side, as usual, says a Mocha Imperial Stout brewed with Altura, Arabia, fuck me. A Mocha Imperial Stout brewed with Arabic coffee from our friends at Cathology. Deceptively easy drinking, big coffee on the nose, creamy chocolate from Bouillon Craft Chocolate on the finish. And that's all it says. Just right there. Like I say, I quite like these can arts where it's just the name but in big fancy letters. The last one, it looked like embers on a coal, which I quite liked. It looked cool. This one looks like molten lava or like honeycomb or something. It looks quite nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into it. There's a best before on this one. There's no canned on date, but there's a best before of the 26th of May 2027. So there's still 4 years left on this, which is quite a good shelf life. But yeah, let's crack it open, see what we got, shall we? Now, it's sort of becoming at this point, it's getting out of Imperial Stout weather. I'll just let that settle a second. It's getting out of Imperial Stout weather. Imperials, and tippers, and strong beers being your sort of winter beers, and where it's getting colder and you need something to warm you up like this. And it's getting to that point now in outside where it's quite warm, or it's getting warmer, so you don't really need these kind of strong beers anymore. It's not that you don't need them, but they don't. They're just going to warm you up and warm more than they should cool you down. Whereas like IPAs and tippers and, well, not tippers, IPAs, DDHs, dippers, pales, stuff like that, they're going to cool you down. So I'm trying to get these done before it gets to a point where I'm thinking it's too hot to be drinking this stuff. Anyway, so there's the beer. We have a jet black beer with a slightly creamy mocha head. It's quite... reminds me of like a I can't tilt it so you can see, but it reminds me of like coffee from like a Nero's or a Costa, where it's got that nice little foamy, milky head. Anyway, looks quite nice. Let's get a smell and see what we get, shall we? Coffee again. Quite strong on the nose. This sort of reminds me of the one that I had last time, the Stout Porter. It was quite nice, but it was very coffee heavy, and this one is again very coffee heavy. It smells more acidic though. It's quite an acidic coffee though. Citrusy, caramel. I'm not getting the chocolate, which is a little concerning, considering that they've made a big deal about this being Bouillon Craft Chocolate. I'm gonna have to look them up in a bit. I'm not getting any chocolate, but I'm getting coffee. I'm getting sort of a citrusy, acidic smell, and caramel as well. It smells nice. Don't get me wrong, it smells nice, but I'm missing that chocolate. It's a mouthful for body and carb though. Carbs quite light. Body, medium to full body. It is smooth. It does say, to be fair on the can, I forgot to read it, it says it's rich, smooth and velvety. It is rich, it is smooth, and it is velvety. So, got to give them a couple points for that. It's so far so good. Let's get a big old taste, shall we? Cheers. It is quite acidic. So the coffee is quite like beer. It's not alcoholic, but it's got its own flavours in a way, if you will. So certain coffees are more acidic, certain coffees are more bitter, certain more of a chocolatey taste, a caramel taste. For anyone who doesn't drink coffee, this is why I'm saying this. So mixing coffee with beer, yeah, you can get some really good results if you get the right coffee with the right beer. This one, I think, is good, but the coffee is sort of pushing a bit much than it should. It's pushing itself a bit more than it should. So you get this nice coffee taste, and it's great. You get this, nice, more of an espresso, strong coffee, something to perk you up and wake you up, and yeah, let's get ready for the day. And you get this nice little smooth, caramelly, sweet taste to it as well. It's very, very mild, very subtle, but you get this caramel subtle taste to it as well. It's quite nice. But the coffee that it is quite acidic, and it's impacting the beer. So you get this, what I said on the nose, you got the citrus, yeah, but you don't get the flavour of the citrus, which you can get through the coffee. So the coffee will taste citrusy and caramelly, and it'll be quite nice. It's quite acidic, but it's quite nice, and you can get this nice sort of balance if you do a nice, depending on what coffee you like, you get a nice balance between it, because you can have a milky coffee and it sort of mellows it down and stuff like that. And it's science behind coffee. There's a lot of science, and I recommend you look into it, because I can't really explain it properly, because I'm not a barista and because I'm not a coffee reviewing channel. But the acidity of this coffee has sort of taken over the flavour of the beer, which means the beer is a bit more acidic, it's a bit sharp, and it's a bit harsh on that front. So the citrus that's in the coffee is coming through in the beer, but not in the flavour, but more in the harshness of the acidity in it. So it's kind of pushing that way. You get the nice coffee flavour, yeah, and you get this nice caramel sweetness to it. Brilliant. That's what you want from that coffee. But I feel like they put a bit too much in, and now they've got this acidity with it as well. And if you like an acidic coffee, and if you like that kind of style of roast, fine. This is probably going to be your Imperial Stout. It's probably exactly what you want. It's acidic. It's roasted. It's caramel. It's got that sort of flavour profile to it. But if this is not your style of coffee, I doubt you're going to like it. If you like something that's quite mellow or quite sweet or something along them lines that doesn't have the harshness of the citrus, you probably are not going to like this beer in itself. Personally, I don't really like a sharp, harsh, citrusy, acidic coffee. I don't like that. I more go to the mellow, sweet side of coffee, which, yeah, it's personal preference at the end of the day. But this is going to be a personal preference. This beer will be a preference beer. Because a lot of coffee beers that I do are you just get coffee. You don't get that extra bit that this beer has, which is the full flavour profile of the coffee bean itself. Usually you just get coffee flavour and that's it. But this has gone into it, and this is a very select taste. So yeah, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a very select taste for the people who are drinking it, and if you're drinking it, that's what it's going to be. If you like it, I'm not telling you to stop drinking it, because this is your drink. This will be what you like, and especially in coffee, probably this is what you're going to like as well. But if you don't like it, it's the coffee that they've used. It's the type of bean they've used. They've used a different bean that's more mellow, more chocolatey, more sweeter, it'd be a completely different beer, and it would, because that's just how chemistry in the end works. I'm still a bit annoyed that I haven't got the chocolate, because it says Bouillon craft chocolate, and then it says on the back creamy chocolate on the finish, and I'm just not getting that chocolate, that sweetness, that nice, smooth, creamy taste. I know it's a vegan beer, pardon me, but you can make vegan chocolate that tastes just as good as normal chocolate, or vegan, non-vegan chocolate. So you can do it, but I'm not getting any of this chocolate here. So it's just not as good as I thought it was going to be. I was expecting some coffee, chocolate, and nice imperial stout, something really good. The 10.3 is well hidden. It is a very well hidden beer. I'm not getting any alcohol burn, any alcohol warming, or anything like that. But it's just a bit niche, really. It's a very niche market, this one. You have to like the type of coffee they put in, and the amount of chocolate that they put in as well. And then you also have to like an imperial stout, and that's how you're gonna like this beer. Otherwise, you'll find something that's wrong with it, like I have, and you just won't like it as much as you want to, or as much as you should do, or anything like that. You just won't. Personally, for me, this isn't my type of beer. I like an imperial stout. You know, I like an imperial stout. I like a coffee stout. I like a chocolate stout. I like all of that above. I love them. It's just I think it's the coffee bean itself is just a bit on the acidic side, and I don't roll with that. That's not me. It's just not what I like. So unfortunately, it's gonna score for me lower than it usually would if it was a mellower, sweeter coffee. But at the end of the day, it's all personal preference. I'm not saying it's a bad beer. I can see the potential in this being really good, especially for the people who like the stuff. The coffee being that style, but if you don't, maybe give it a miss. If you want to give it a go, I'm not stopping you, but if you don't want to, maybe give it a miss, just because the coffee is the main flavour in this. So if you don't like the coffee, you're not going to like the beer. I mean, I'm still going to drink it because I spent money on it, but I'm not really enjoying it as much as I want to, and I want to enjoy this beer. If this is a regular thing where they just change the bean out and they change the chocolate out, I'd happily keep coming back and giving it a go and just trying it and see what I like and which ones would be my preference and which ones aren't. I'd happily do that, but at the minute, this one is just not for me. So I've kind of gone over my time as usual, but I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to, like I say, finish the beer off. I'll top it up, finish it off, but it's not my preference, the beer. So, Triple Point Brewing, Bouillon Craft Chocolate, and Cafeology, I don't know. Tinto Mocha Imperial Stout. First of all, I really love a mocha. That is it's actually my second favourite coffee, flat white and then a mocha. So I was looking forward to this, nice chocolatey coffee tasting beer. I just didn't get that. But out of 10, I'm going to give it... I don't want to score it low and make it seem like it's a bad beer, because it's not. I can see the potential in it, but for me, I just don't like it. It's not that I don't like it, but it's not my style, it's not my preference. So I'm going to give it a 6, because I can see the appeal, and I can see the potential if they changed the bean out, or if they did a different chocolate. I can see it being good. But yeah, I'm giving it a 6, which is a shame, because last triple brew what did I do, 8 and 9. I thought it was really nice. But yeah, it's a 6 just from the coffee bean, but it's personal preference, like I keep saying at the end of the day. So you might love this you might like this coffee stout, but I don't. But yeah, if you have had this before, please let me know. Let me know what you think. If you like it, if you don't, if you've not had it, I'll leave a link to 3 Point Brewing. Yeah. No, sorry, Triple Point Brewing. I'll leave that down below. I'll leave a link to Bouillon Craft Chocolate and Cafeology. Cafeology, but it's not a beer. They're not beer providers, so if you're looking for beer, you're not going to find any in there. But if you want some chocolate or coffee, give them a click, see what you think. You never know, you might find something you like. Anyway, if you like the video though, thumbs up, thumbs down, all that usual stuff. If you want to subscribe, consider doing so, because the show must go on, etc, etc, so on and so forth, and I'll see you later.